The things that we love tell us what we are. To one who has faith, no explanation is necessary. To one without faith, no explanation is possible. There is nothing on this earth more to be prized than true friendship. The greatest kindness one can render to any man consists in leading him from error to truth. To pretend angels do not exist because they are invisible is to believe we never sleep because we don't see ourselves sleeping. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. 3 things are necessary for the salvation of man: to know what he ought to believe, to know what he ought to desire, and to know what he ought to do. We must love them both, those whose opinions we share and those whose opinions we reject, for both have labored in the search for truth, and both have helped us in finding it. Believing is an act of the intellect, assenting to the divine truth, by command of the will, moved by God, through grace. To love is to will the good of the other. Friendship is the source of the greatest pleasures, and without friends even the most agreeable pursuits become tedious. Love takes up where knowledge leaves off. Love is a binding force, by which another is joined to me and cherished by myself. Love must precede hatred, and nothing is hated save through being contrary to a suitable thing which is loved. And hence it is that every hatred is caused by love. Man cannot live without joy, therefore when he is deprived of true spiritual joys it is necessary that he become addicted to carnal pleasures. Happiness is secured through virtue, it is a good attained by man's own will. Rarely affirm, seldom deny, always distinguish. Sorrow can be alleviated by good sleep, a bath and a glass of wine. I would rather feel compassion than know the meaning of it. I would hope to act with compassion without thinking of personal gain. Man should not consider his material possession his own, but as common to all, so as to share them without hesitation when others are in need. The test of the artist does not lie in the will with which he goes to work, but in the excellence of the work he produces. To live well is to work well, to show a good activity. Pray thee, spare thyself at times, for it becomes a wise man sometimes to relax the high pressure of his attention to work. The study of philosophy is not that we may know what men have thought, but what the truth of things is. We can't have full knowledge all at once. We must start by believing, then afterwards we may be led on to master the evidence for ourselves. Better to illuminate than merely to shine, to deliver to others contemplated truths than merely to contemplate. Wonder is the desire of knowledge. Because philosophy arises from awe, a philosopher is bound in his way to be a lover of myths and poetic fables. Poets and philosophers are alike in being big with wonder. All that is true, by whomsoever it has been said, has its origin in the spirit. Nothing created has ever been able to fill the heart of man. God alone can fill it infinitely. Faith has to do with things that are not seen and hope with things that are not at hand. God has no need for our worship. It is we who need to show our gratitude for what we have received. A man's heart is right when he wills what God wills. It is only God who creates. Man merely rearranges. Good can exist without evil, whereas evil cannot exist without good. Beware the man of a single book. Not everything that is more difficult is more meritorious. Fear is such a powerful emotion for humans that when we allow it to take us over, it drives compassion right out of our hearts. Mercy without justice is the mother of dissolution. Justice without mercy is cruelty. Most men seem to live according to sense rather than reason. All the efforts of the human mind cannot exhaust the essence of a single fly. It is requisite for the relaxation of the mind that we make use, from time to time, of playful deeds and jokes. How is it they live in such harmony, the billions of stars, when most men can barely go a minute without declaring war in their minds? To bear with patience wrongs done to oneself is a mark of perfection, but to bear with patience wrongs done to someone else is a mark of imperfection and even of actual sin. It is necessary for the perfection of human society that there should be men who devote their lives to contemplation. By nature all men are equal in liberty, but not in other endowments. Humility is the mark of a genuine disciple.